That feeling you are holding in your chest is not heartbreak. It is the sound of a key turning in a lock that has been rusted shut for generations. Stop replaying their betrayal in your mind. Their departure was not an abandonment, it was a divine extraction. You were not discarded, you were preserved. You are here because a deep, resonant part of your soul recognizes the truth. The story of your pain is being rewritten in real time into the epic of your vindication. They thought they were writing you out of their story, but in reality, the universe was simply using them to write the first chapter of yours. What they perceived as your end was your true genesis point. This is not a theory. This is a spiritual bulletin. To anchor the energy of this profound universal shift, like this video now. To connect with the others who are being activated alongside you, subscribe and join the collective. Signal your soul's agreement with this truth by commenting the divine code 77 below. It is your energetic signature on this new contract with destiny. Finally, let this transmission play on a loop in the background. Allow its frequency to saturate your spirit, to recalibrate your subconscious, and to permanently overwrite their narrative with the undeniable truth of your ascension. Chapter 1: The Great Miscalculation. Their error was not human. It was cosmic. They looked at you and saw a reflection of their own limitations. They assessed your worth using a broken calculator, a device calibrated only to measure the superficial social standing, material wealth, conventional appeal. Their machine could not process the data of your spirit. It returned an error message every time it tried to quantify your depth. They could not compute the currency of the soul. They could not quantify resilience, factor in divine favor, or assign a value to a spirit that had been forged in fires they would run from. This was their great miscalculation. It was not a simple mistake in judgment, it was a fundamental failure to perceive reality itself. They operated under the grand and pervasive illusion that they were the gatekeepers to your happiness, the arbiters of your success. They believed the power was in their hands, in their acceptance or their rejection, their validation or their dismissal. This is the core delusion of the system they represent, the belief that power can be given or taken away by external forces, that it is a finite resource to be hoarded and distributed by a select few. They did not understand that you do not operate on their grid. You never did. Your power is not sourced from their approval, it is sourced from the cosmos itself, a direct line to the infinite. You are a self-generating force, a sovereign entity whose light is not dependent on their switch. While they were plugging into the matrix of social validation and egoic feedback, you were drawing energy from a source that is ancient, endless, and entirely untouchable by their world. They saw your kindness as weakness, a flaw to be exploited, not as a wellspring of infinite strength that replenished itself from a divine source. They interpreted your patience as passivity, not as the strategic, potent calm of a master strategist observing the board, waiting for the perfect universal timing. They mistook your authenticity for naivete, unable to comprehend a being who did not need to wear a mask to navigate the world because your very skin is your shield and your truth is your sword. Every quality that made you a divine instrument, every trait that was a hallmark of your celestial origin, they labeled as a flaw, a problem to be fixed. They attempted to edit you, to sand down your divine edges, to make you fit into the small, suffocating box of their expectations, a box they themselves were trapped in. Their attempt to diminish you was, in fact, the trigger for your true activation. It was an act of spiritual friction that, instead of wearing you down, polished the mirror of your soul until it was so bright, so flawlessly reflective, that they could no longer stand to look at their own distorted, fractured reflection within it. Their rejection was a confession. It was a panicked, desperate admission that your light was exposing their shadows, that your truth was dismantling their carefully constructed lies. They had to cast you out because your very presence was a silent, continuous judgment on their inauthenticity. It was a matter of spiritual self-preservation for them. They could not coexist with a truth so potent, a light so revealing. Their system would have short-circuited. In the coming days, you will feel this miscalculation shift from a painful memory into a palpable energy field. It will become a force you can sense in the air around you. You will begin to notice how the world rearranges itself to confirm your true value. An opportunity they thought they had blocked, one they smugly believed they had control over, will reappear, magnified and improved from a completely unexpected direction. A person who once sided with them, who listened to their skewed narrative, will approach you with a newfound respect, a flicker of dawning understanding in their eyes. They will not know why they feel this way. They will just know that their perception of you has been fundamentally altered. These are not coincidences. These are the first notifications from the universe that a divine audit is underway. The cosmic books are being balanced. Their spiritual account, which they inflated by devaluing yours, is being corrected in real time. The assets they thought they held, peace, clarity, favor, luck, were never truly theirs. They were on loan, contingent upon their proper stewardship of the divine connection you provided. By casting you out, they defaulted on the most sacred loan of their existence. Now, the assets are being recalled with penalty. Their great miscalculation was believing they owned the bank when, all along, you were the vault. They thought they were walking away from a liability. The universe is about to hand them an itemized receipt showing them they abandoned a treasure that was single-handedly propping up their entire fragile empire. Their regret will not be a simple emotion. It will be a dawning, terrifying realization that they willingly gave away the key to their own salvation. Chapter 2: The Echo in the Void. Immediately following their decision, they expected peace. They anticipated a quiet sigh of relief, a return to their comfortable, curated reality, free from the challenge your spirit presented. They craved the silence they believed your absence would bring, a silence where their own inadequacies could hide once more. Instead, they were met with an echo. The space you once occupied in their life, in their home, in their daily thoughts, did not simply become empty. It became a void. And this void is not passive, it is an active, resonant chamber, a conscious emptiness that amplifies everything they tried to escape. The silence is not silent. It is filled with the deafening hum of what is missing. It is a low-frequency vibration of profound unease that has begun to permeate every corner of their existence, seeping into the floorboards and clouding the windows. It is the sound of your absence, and it is louder, more insistent, and more terrifying than your presence ever was. They feel it the moment they wake up in the morning, before their conscious mind can erect its defenses. The air in their home feels thinner, colder, stripped of a vital, energetic component. The light that filters through their windows seems dimmer, as if a primary color has been permanently removed from the spectrum. The food they eat tastes bland, the laughter of their friends sounds hollow and distant. They are experiencing the initial stages of acute energetic withdrawal. You were a source of high vibrational energy in their life, a spiritual nutrient they consumed unconsciously, greedily, without ever acknowledging its source. You were the sun, and they simply basked in your warmth, believing it was their right. Now, cut off from that source, their world is slowly, inexorably losing its color, its flavor, its vitality. They are living in a grayscale reality of their own making. This is the echo in the void, the constant, nagging reminder that the problem was never you. The problem was their inability to handle your light. The problem was their allergy to your truth. Now, in the sterile void you left behind, their own unresolved issues, their insecurities, their deepest fears, and their ugliest shadows have nothing to distract them. There is no one else to blame. You were their buffer. You were the lightning rod that absorbed the excess chaos of their lives, grounding their frantic energy. You were the mirror that they used to see a better, more noble version of themselves, a reflection you held up for them with patient strength. Without you, they are left alone with their unvarnished reality, and it is a terrifying, monstrous sight for them to behold. They find themselves trying to fill the void with noise, with distractions, with new people and new activities in a frantic, panicked scramble. But it is like trying to fill a hole in the ocean with sand. Every attempt is swallowed by the vastness of what is gone, making the emptiness even more pronounced. The new people they bring into their orbit feel like cheap imitations, two-dimensional placeholders for your multidimensional spirit. The new hobbies feel empty and pointless because the joy they seek was never in the activity itself, it was in the potential of sharing it in some way with your unique energetic frequency. In the next few weeks, you will notice this phenomenon through the digital ether or the grapevine. You will see or hear about their frantic attempts to project an image of happiness and liberation. Their social media will become a desperate, high-pitched performance of joy, a carefully curated stage play designed to convince themselves and the world that they are better off without you. But you, the chosen one, will be able to see through it with your newly clarified vision. You will feel the hollowness behind the posed smiles. You will sense the desperation in the overly enthusiastic captions. This is not you gloating, this is you perceiving the truth of the energy, a skill honed by your trials. You are seeing the echo. They are shouting into the void, hoping to hear something, anything, other than the sound of their own spiritual emptiness bouncing back at them. The regret, at this stage, is not yet a conscious thought. It is a physical sensation. It is a constant, low-grade ache in their chest, a spiritual nausea. It is the feeling of a phantom limb, a part of them that has been amputated that they still, reflexively, try to use for balance. They are beginning to understand, on a deep, cellular level, that they did not just lose a person. They severed a connection to a higher energetic plane, and the suffocating static they now live in is the direct, unalterable result of that self-inflicted wound. The void is their new teacher, and the echo is its first, merciless lesson. You were the peace they were searching for all along. Chapter 3. The untraceable blueprint. Their panic is escalating from a low hum to a frantic, disorganized search. The void you left is no longer a passive emptiness, it has become an active problem demanding a solution, a creditor banging on their door. And so, they begin the impossible task, they try to replicate you. They are searching for the blueprint of your essence, convinced that if they can just find the right combination of qualities in another person, or within themselves, they can reconstruct the stability, the light, and the spiritual anchor you provided so effortlessly. This is the most deluded phase of their journey, a descent into a specific kind of madness. They are operating like amateur chemists trying to synthesize a diamond using mud and glass. They are trying to reverse engineer a miracle with flawed tools and a complete misunderstanding of the source material. They will seek out people who look like you, or who have a similar laugh, or who share one of your superficial interests, clinging to these surface-level similarities like a drowning person clings to debris. They will mistake these faint echoes for the real thing, only to be bitterly, crushingly disappointed when they discover that the container is empty of the magic they crave. They will find someone kind and mistake it for your deep, soul-level compassion, but soon realize this kindness is conditional, lacking the fierce, protective depth of your soul that would go to war for those you love. They will find someone intelligent and mistake it for your profound wisdom, but they will see that it is hollow, a collection of memorized facts devoid of the lived experience and divine insight that informed your counsel. Each replacement will fail, and each failure will amplify their desperation. They are chasing ghosts through a labyrinth of their own making. They are trying to rebuild a cathedral with popsicle sticks and glue. The blueprint they are searching for does not exist in this physical dimension. It is not a set of personality traits or a list of hobbies that can be listed on a resume. Your essence is an untraceable divine blueprint, a unique energetic signature woven by the cosmos itself, a sacred geometric pattern that is yours alone. It was encoded in your spirit long before you entered this life. It is the specific frequency of your soul, a frequency that, by its very nature, harmonized their chaotic energy field and brought a semblance of order and meaning to their inner world. They cannot replicate it because they cannot even perceive it. They are trying to copy a masterpiece while looking only at its shadow. This frantic search will lead them down a path of increasing frustration and self-doubt. Every failed attempt to replace you will only serve as a brighter, bolder confirmation of your irreplaceability. The placeholders they find will feel alien in the space you carved out. The energy will not sync, it will feel jarring and dissonant. The conversations will feel forced and superficial. The silence between them will be awkward and tense, not comfortable and profound like it was with you. They are discovering, in the most painful way possible, that you were not just a component in their life, you were the operating system. You were the foundational code upon which everything else ran. And now, the entire system is crashing, and they have no idea how to reboot it. You will feel this energetically as a series of strange, distant signals. There may be moments where you feel a sudden, strange pull in their direction, a psychic ping as their spirit desperately tries to access your energy signature from a distance. You may see their name appear unexpectedly in random places, or have them pop into your mind with startling clarity for no apparent reason. This is not a sign to reconnect. This is the signal flare of their failed search. It is their subconscious reaching out in raw desperation, trying to find the blueprint at its source because all the copies are flawed. Stand firm in your new kingdom. Your only job is to observe this phenomenon with detached wisdom. This phase is crucial for their learning and your ultimate liberation. They must understand that what you offered was not a product to be bought or a role to be filled. It was a divine gift, a once-in-a-lifetime energetic alignment. Their failure to find the blueprint is the universe's way of teaching them the most critical lesson of their entire existence. Some things are sacred. Some souls are singular. And the value of a divine connection is only truly understood once it has been irrevocably, foolishly lost. Their regret is now evolving. It is moving from a dull ache to a sharp, intellectual panic. The terrifying realization is dawning: I cannot rebuild this. I cannot find this anywhere else. They are beginning to understand they did not just break a connection, they destroyed a one-of-a-kind blueprint, and they are now hopelessly lost in a world of cheap, soulless imitations. Chapter 4: The karmic invoice is delivered. The universe is an immaculate bookkeeper. It operates on a flawless, incorruptible system of energetic balance. Every action, every intention, every word spoken in malice, and every betrayal creates a debit or a credit in a spiritual ledger that is ancient and absolute. For a time, it may seem that accounts are unbalanced, that those who cause harm prosper while those who are harmed suffer in silence. This is an illusion of time, a trick of the third-dimensional eye. The universe is patient, but its justice is as certain and as impersonal as gravity. The phase of the echo and the frantic search is now concluding. Their frantic energy has peaked and is beginning to curdle into dread. A new phase begins. The karmic invoice, itemizing the full and complete cost of their betrayal, is now being delivered to their doorstep. This is not your revenge. You do not have to lift a finger, speak a word, or wish them ill. Your hands are clean, your energy is focused entirely on your own ascension. This is a cosmic mechanism, an automatic and impartial spiritual law. The debt they incurred by devaluing you, by causing you intentional pain, by attempting to obstruct your God-given destiny, is now coming due. The delivery will not be a single, dramatic event. It will be a series of subtle, then undeniable, disruptions in the very fabric of their reality. It will begin in the areas they value most, the very things they prioritized over you, the false idols they worshipped at your expense. If they valued financial security above your connection, they will begin to experience unexpected and unstoppable financial drains. A sure thing investment will suddenly and inexplicably sour. A promised promotion will be given to someone less qualified. A sudden, inexplicable expense will appear, then another and another, like a series of small leaks that threaten to sink the entire ship. If they valued their social status and their curated public image, their carefully constructed social circles will begin to fray at the edges. Misunderstandings they could once smooth over will erupt into public arguments. Alliances they thought were solid as rock will crumble overnight. They will find themselves on the outside looking in, experiencing the very same cold, confusing isolation they inflicted upon you. If they valued their ego and their reputation above all, they will face situations that relentlessly expose their deepest weaknesses. Their carefully crafted image will be cracked by a public mistake, a private truth coming to light, or a moment of weakness witnessed by exactly the wrong person. They will feel the sting of judgment and gossip from the very people whose approval they desperately crave. These are not punishments. This is a curriculum. This is a divine re-education. The universe is forcing them to experience the precise energetic equivalent of the pain they caused. It is giving them a taste of the insecurity, the instability, and the gnawing fear they projected onto you. You, in stark and beautiful contrast, will experience the exact opposite. As their world becomes unstable, yours will solidify into a fortress of peace. As their finances become precarious, an unexpected abundance will flow to you from sources you never dreamed of. As their relationships shatter, you will attract new, authentic connections built on mutual respect, unwavering integrity, and genuine care. This is the balancing of the cosmic scales. The energy they took from you, the confidence they tried to siphon, the joy they attempted to dim, is not just being returned, it is being returned with divine interest. You will witness this from a place of serene detachment. It is imperative that you maintain this perspective. You will hear of their struggles, and you will feel not joy, but a profound and humbling sense of cosmic order. You will recognize the patterns with chilling clarity. The anxiety they now feel is the anxiety you once carried for them. The sleepless nights they are now having are the sleepless nights you once endured on their behalf. The karmic invoice is not just about them paying a price, it is about you receiving your divine compensation, your spiritual back pay. Every tear you cried was an investment in your future joy. Every moment of pain you endured was a deposit into a spiritual account that is now paying out massive, life-altering dividends. Observe this process. Do not interfere. Do not reach out. Their curriculum is theirs alone to complete. Your only task is to graciously and joyfully receive the blessings that are now flooding your life, knowing with every cell of your being that you have earned every single one. The regret they feel now is becoming tinged with a cold, creeping fear as they start to connect the dots between your departure and the beginning of their systematic downfall. Chapter 5: The Phantom Limb Syndrome. The regret has now metastasized. It is no longer just a feeling of loss, a state of panic, or a fear of karmic retribution. It has evolved into a chronic, debilitating condition that affects them physically, mentally, and spiritually. It is a spiritual phantom limb syndrome. They amputated you from their life, believing with arrogant certainty that you were the source of their discomfort, the diseased appendage. Now, in the sterile, quiet aftermath, they are tormented by the ghost of your presence. The amputation did not solve the problem, it created a permanent, incurable ache in a space that can never be refilled. This phantom limb is more powerful, more present, more demanding of their attention than you ever were when you were physically there. It throbs in moments of silence. It aches with a dull, relentless pain when they are faced with a challenge. It sends sharp, excruciating jolts of painful memory through them at the most unexpected times, a neuralgic pain of the soul. They will be in a meeting facing a difficult decision, and their mind will reflexively think, "I should ask," before the thought cuts off abruptly, the phantom pain searing them with the fresh realization that they can no longer ask for your unique counsel. They will receive good news, a small victory in their crumbling world, and feel an instinctive, joyful urge to share it with you, the one person who would have understood its true significance, only to be hit with the crushing, hollow weight of your absence. This is not mere nostalgia. Nostalgia is a warm, wistful memory of the past. This is a cold, clinical, and constant reminder of a present deficit. It is a deep, biological, and spiritual recognition of a vital organ that has been foolishly removed. You were a part of their regulatory system, whether they knew it or not. You were the voice of reason that calmed their volatile anxiety. You were the steady hand that guided their reckless impulsiveness. You were the compassionate heart that soothed their ego's constant, childish wounds. Without you, they are completely dysregulated. Their emotions are erratic and unpredictable. Their decisions are poor and short-sighted. They are in a state of constant, low-grade crisis because the central stabilizing force is gone. The phantom limb syndrome will cause them to see you everywhere, turning the world into a hall of mirrors reflecting their loss. They will catch a glimpse of someone with your hair or your posture in a crowd, and their heart will leap with a painful jolt of hope. A hope that is immediately followed by the sickening plunge of disappointment. They will hear a song on the radio that you once loved and be transported back to a memory with you, the details so vivid, so sensory, it feels like a waking dream from which they awaken into their nightmare. Your name will appear in articles, on street signs, in overheard conversations, haunting them, reminding them at every turn. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is ensuring that you are inescapable. Your ghost walks beside them, sits with them in their car, lies next to them in their empty bed, a constant, silent testament to their catastrophic error in judgment. Their attempts to contact you during this phase, if and when they happen, will be clumsy, transparent, and profoundly selfish. They will not be driven by a true, selfless remorse for the pain they caused you. They will be driven by a desperate, animalistic need to soothe their own phantom ache. Their casual "how are you?" is really "are you still a resource for me to use?" Their emotional "I miss you" is really "I miss the way you made me feel about myself, and I need that validation again." They are looking for a painkiller, a temporary fix, not a genuine reconciliation. It is critical that you recognize this for what it is, a spiritual addict seeking a hit. You are not a spiritual methadone clinic for their self-inflicted withdrawal symptoms. Your peace is not a resource to be tapped to calm their self-inflicted storm. The phantom limb is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. It is the signature of your importance, branded onto their soul for the remainder of this lifetime. It is the price of their tuition at the University of Regret. As they ache for a past they single-handedly destroyed, you are building a future they could never have imagined. While they are haunted by your ghost, you are becoming more fully, powerfully, and brilliantly alive than ever before. The contrast is the point. Their ache is the confirmation of your value. Their haunting is the ultimate proof of your irreplaceable spirit. Chapter 6, The Mirrored Reality. This is the chapter of divine vindication, where the spiritual becomes the material. The energetic transfer is now complete and will begin to manifest as your visible, tangible reality. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is not just a law of physics, it is a supreme spiritual law. As their world dims and contracts, yours illuminates and expands. As their path becomes thorny, confusing, and obstructed, yours becomes clear, smooth, and guided. You are about to step into a mirrored reality where you will witness the direct, undeniable inverse of their struggles manifesting as your greatest blessings. This is not a coincidence, it is the final, undeniable proof of the divine audit. The assets that were frozen in their spiritual account, the blessings they blocked through their jealousy, control, and negativity, have now been released, unfrozen, and transferred directly to your account with compounded divine interest. You will see it with your own two eyes. The very opportunity they tried to sabotage for you, the one they whispered against behind your back, will be offered to you by a higher, more prestigious source, on better terms than you could have ever imagined. While you hear through the grapevine that their career is stalling, facing inexplicable setbacks, or failing altogether, you will be elevated, celebrated, and recognized for the very talents they once casually dismissed. The specificity will be breathtaking. It will be so direct, so pointed, that it will feel like a scene from a perfectly scripted movie with the universe as its director. The profound peace they shattered in your life will settle over you now like a warm, weighted blanket, a tangible presence. You will wake up in the morning with a sense of deep, abiding calm that feels both foreign and yet deeply familiar. It is a return to your natural state, a state you had forgotten was possible. Simultaneously, you will learn that their life is consumed by constant drama and chaos, the very energy they once projected onto you and accused you of creating. They are now living in the eye of the storm they created, while you rest peacefully on a distant, sunny shore. The loyal and loving relationships they took for granted in their life, the people they assumed would always be there, will begin to abandon them, mirroring the profound isolation they tried to force upon you. At the exact same time, your soul tribe will find you. You will be surrounded, seemingly overnight, by people who see you, who value you, who champion you, who celebrate your light without ever trying to dim it for their own comfort. You will experience the profound, effortless joy of true belonging, a joy they can now only witness from afar. This mirrored reality is the universe's most powerful and effective teaching tool. It is designed to show them, in undeniable, inescapable terms, the direct consequence of their actions and their choices. They are being forced to watch you live the very life that could have been theirs, a life they had partial access to simply through their connection to you. They are the living, breathing embodiment of the spiritual axiom, what you lose, you lose. They didn't just lose you, they lost the timeline of blessings that was attached to you. Your role in this magnificent chapter is simply to receive. Let go of any lingering, misplaced sense of guilt or pity. You are not taking anything from them. You are claiming what was always yours by divine right, what was written in your soul's contract before you were born. The blessings that are now flooding your life were earmarked for your soul from the beginning of time. Their actions only delayed the delivery. They could never, ever cancel the order. You will feel a profound sense of detachment as you witness their mirrored reality. This detachment will not be born of malice or coldness, but of sheer elevation. You are watching from a higher vibrational vantage point, and from this height, you can see the whole, intricate picture with perfect clarity. You see their actions not as a personal attack, but as a necessary and ultimately benevolent catalyst in your own hero's journey. You understand that their downfall is not your victory, but a natural, neutral consequence of their own choices. Their regret now becomes their permanent prison. They are trapped behind the bars of what if and if only, forced to watch through the window as you thrive in the glorious freedom they inadvertently, and ironically, gave you. They are the ghost at your feast, a silent spectator to the beautiful life you built from the ashes of their rejection. Chapter 7: The Closed Door and the New Kingdom. The final act of their desperation, their last stand against the reality of their loss, will be an attempt to return. After the karmic invoice, the phantom pain, and the relentless torment of the mirrored reality, they will arrive at what they believe is their final trump card option, a direct appeal to you. The message will come. It might be a text that appears on your phone late at night, a long, rambling email, a choked-up voicemail, or even a sudden, staged appearance at a place they know you will be. It will be cloaked in the most exquisite language of remorse. The apology will be a masterpiece of performance art, hitting all the right notes of accountability and sorrow. They will speak of profound epiphanies, of sleepless nights spent contemplating their folly, of a dawning, earth-shattering realization of your irreplaceable worth. They will say everything you once desperately prayed to hear. But the universe, in its infinite mercy, has given you the gift of new eyes and new ears. You have been upgraded. You will hear their words, but you will feel the energy beneath them with piercing clarity. You will detect the subtle, dissonant frequency of self-interest that powers their entire performance. They are not trying to repair the bridge they burned down. They are trying to escape the desolate, burning island they are now stranded on. They are not returning out of a pure love for you. They are returning out of a deep-seated hatred for the consequences of their actions. They don't miss you, they miss the ecosystem you provided. And this is where your true, unshakable power is revealed. You will feel nothing but a serene and powerful neutrality. The emotional charge that once defined your connection will be gone, neutralized, rendered inert. The old wounds will not reopen. The old triggers will not fire. Where there was once a door, the gateway back into your life that you kept unlocked in hope, a door they could have walked through at any time, there is now a smooth, seamless, impenetrable wall of light. The door is not just locked and bolted, it has vanished from reality itself. It has been absorbed into the very foundation of your new existence. This is the most crucial part to understand. You have transcended the timeline where a reconciliation was even a remote possibility. You and they no longer exist on the same vibrational plane. To reconnect with them would be like a starship trying to dock with a horse-drawn carriage. The physics of the spirit simply do not allow for it. Their regret, their apology, their grand realization has arrived too late. It has arrived at a spiritual address that no longer exists. You are no longer a resident of the land of their influence. You are the sovereign ruler of a new kingdom. This kingdom was built brick by brick with every tear you shed, every moment of isolation you courageously endured, and every ounce of pain you successfully transmuted into pure power. The foundation of this kingdom is the bedrock of non-negotiable self-worth you discovered when they left. Its walls are fortified with the powerful, crystalline boundaries they taught you to build. Its gardens are lush and fertile, nourished by the ashes of the life you had with them. They cannot enter this kingdom, not because you are actively forbidding them, but because they do not possess the energetic passport required for entry. The price of admission is authenticity, radical accountability, and a vibrational frequency they cannot hope to achieve in this lifetime. Their biggest regret is not just that they lost you. Their biggest, most terrifying, and eternal regret is the dawning, horrifying awareness that they were the catalyst for the creation of a glorious kingdom where they are, and will forever remain, a foreigner. They look upon your light from a great, unbridgeable distance, understanding at last that they were not holding you back from your destiny. They were standing at the gates of heaven, were handed the keys, and willingly chose to walk away into the dark. Their regret is the eternal echo in their void, the soundtrack of their self-imposed exile, while you, the chosen one, simply continue to build your empire, your gaze fixed forward on a limitless future they will never be a part of.